Jobany, okay, let's go and take a look. So I was just going through your writing here. But it's only natural to add some form of eye candy to grab the audience's attention. That being said, I chose a woman in a bathing suit because it's simple, effective, and with minor adjustments, it's something I could see in stores. Typical part of the sound was thing of a witty subhead. Notice how the entire piece is going full circle direction no matter what. Okay, the flow of the page is another element I tried to incorporate into my selection. Notice how the entire page is going full circle in a direction, no matter what you notice. Creating a visual appealing piece is essential. I'm not real sure I follow that. I'm not real sure if I understand what you're saying about the visual flow, but I will say it's excellent that you're talking about elements and principles of design, because we are required to talk about the elements and principles of design as incorporated into this ad as part of the final project part 2, the written portion. So let's go ahead and jump over to the ad. Now look, I think the good thing is that the ad is definitely showing proficiency in the required techniques. Okay, so for example, your type is set nicely. Logo is placed with no distortions. You've got the contact information. The masking looks great. Image placement looks pretty good. But I think the imagery is not creating as much visual engagement as it possibly could. And I'll describe that in a second. But let's go through the composition. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. So, all right. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to critique this composition so we can decide how to make this composition better. Then I'll give you some ideas for layout in case you want to change the composition. So right now you've got, this is kind of just in no man's land here. It's not centered, nor is it left aligned. So this take a break is causing a fair amount of visual uncomfort. Also, there's no hierarchy because take a break, the subhead, take a walk with us, is just as large, takes up just as much attention as take a break. So we're not following general rules of hierarchy in the type. My recommendation is to take a walk with us, and that's a subhead, so you want to group it with the headline, okay, and left align the whole thing. So here's what we'll do. We'll take this right here, that little mark for let me just do something right here. I just want to do something really quickly. I'm going to grab a straight edge. I want to show you how to set your margin. So you want to set your left margin, all right? So right now I think that once you set your left margin, you're going to place just, let's say that's your left margin, okay? So you're going to make sure that your address falls in that margin, your body copy, your subhead, and your headline, all left aligned, right? And we can see examples of that over in the course announcements. We can see examples of that kind of left alignment here. So here it is here. Here's other variations where that's actually indented to align with the body copy. But here's a beautiful left margin right there. So you really want to establish your left margin. The next thing, and then reduce the size of this. Now I would add a whole, act now and get up to 35% discount packages before June 1st. I would add a more engaging paragraph of type. Describe the island and then describe the promotion, or describe the resort. Try to promote the resort, then offer the promotion. I would also like to see different color here. I mean, right now the black is just so stark. It doesn't really create much visual harmony with the layout. So consider purple and teal as colors, possible colors for your headline subhead. And then in the black, what you can do is just, instead of setting body copy in black, set it in really dark gray. That will reduce this phenomenon of the black type advancing in the composition. Okay, now, as far as this composition goes, I think it could be more visually compelling. I think right now there's some really uncomfortable visual factors. I think the main thing is the fact that when we look at the setting, she would be about 150 feet tall. Now, I know she's not, but nonetheless, it's just an uncomfortable visual combination of her next to this kind of mountain. And I think it could be much more comfortable in terms of, much more engaging in terms of the visual presentation. The background image itself is not very compelling. And the reason I say that is because it's really foggy. There's not any color. It's basically a monochromatic image, and it just doesn't create the type of visual engagement I think that a Caribbean resort would want to promote in their ad. Additionally, she is semi-transparent, so we're seeing all sorts of things through here, and it almost looks like it's a mistake. So my recommendation is just, and look, I'm not asking you to do too much, right? Because you are showing excellent proficiency in all of these techniques. So to craft a new ad should only take you a matter of minutes. But what I would like to see you do is try to shoot for this kind of visual presentation where you've got this gorgeous, really super engaging, beautifully colored and vibrant background image featuring some of the indigenous scenery of the Caribbean, which of course many consider to be some of the most beautiful area in the world. So let's go ahead and promote that, right? Then you include your masked image. Somehow, somewhere, you can even change the masked image if you don't think she's going to fit, but and listen, I mean, it's not required. I mean, you're not required to change the ad. I'm thinking more along the term, more along the lines of ready for your student portfolio when that time comes. And I don't think this piece is. I don't think it's visually engaging enough for inclusion in a student portfolio. Something like this, however, I think is much, much more direct, much more accessible, and I would consider it to be a more valuable piece to your student portfolio. So that said, again, it's not required you make these changes. It's only recommended. At the very least, if you decide to keep this configuration, I would recommend the typographic changes that I had mentioned in the beginning of this critique. So. Okay, so there you have it. If you have any questions at all, or if I can provide any further clarification, please let me know. I'll be glad to do so. All right, great, thanks. Great start. Thank you very much.